from stage 2 of the TDU. Welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, is pro cycling more dangerous than ever? We don't actually know, so we've asked Bernie Eisel.
We have. We've also got the latest lame cycling controversy, and yes, it involves gravel. We've got another reason why Peter Sagan is a cycling great, and we've got cycling terrorists. This week in the world of cycling, we learned that racing full gas with an energy gel in one hand is potentially a recipe for disaster. Here is the latest in our very successful near miss of the day segment.
Whoa, that is a near miss, isn't it? Well held, Caleb Ewan. And now we also learned this week, courtesy of World Tour Pro Ben King, just what the new World Gravel Champion jersey will look like. Trendy.
I can see you in that side. More coming up from the latest storm in cycling's teacup later on in the show. We also learnt this week, finally, and rather sheepishly, that we had been fooled last week by a Dia de los Inocentes. Which is not hard because we hadn't found out about Dia de los Inocentes until about 5 minutes ago. But thank you to Rod in the comments for pointing it out.
Yeah, so it turns out that Colombian pro cyclist Carlos Quintero doesn't actually have a son that he'd never met racing for a Chinese continental team that was the product of a night of passion from a training camp 19 years previously.
We should have gone with our instincts on that one, really, shouldn't we?
We should.
Because nothing like that ever happens on a cyclist training
Nope.
camp.
I did try and tell you last week, Dan.
Finally this week, we learnt through Scott Wolfenden that contrary to popular belief, triathlon can be fun.
Clearly not a real triathlete though, Dan. He was wearing socks and he can bunny hop.
True. At least he had a soft landing though, didn't he?
Yeah.
The same couldn't be said for a number of cyclists in the pro peloton over the last week. Cycling appears to be just as dangerous as it has ever been when you're racing at the top level. We saw multiple crashes at the Tour Down Under and then a huge pile-up caused by a spectator on day one of the Vuelta a San Juan.
Yeah, as dangerous as it's ever been, Dan, you say, or worse.
And who better to talk about this very subject than Bernie Eisel, who's fresh out of the pro peloton and whose career spanned 19 seasons. So he's probably seen a change or two over that time. Now this was something I thought about Bernie on the second stage of the Tour Down Under. There were two big crashes. Viviani lost a load of skin. Simon Yates had a massive gash in his knee. Rafa Vals of Bahrain McLaren had a fractured scapula, I think. And we had Ben Hermans as well, who fractured multiple parts of his shoulder. And I was just there watching it and thinking, this has always been a dangerous sport, but it looks to me like it's getting more dangerous. Would that be your view?
It kind of does. I mean, if you have to look at it in general, it's like the sport itself got more dangerous because road furniture, everything to make the road safer and more quiet for the normal road user is what makes it more dangerous for us. And this is for the racing and traffic islands and a pollica here, a pollica there, and you never know, a flower pot in some cities. But at the same time, it is so many things that come together. I think we discussed it many times, you know, there were complaints that the youngsters, too many young riders coming in. Of course it plays a role, but we can't blame them.
I mean, that's like the traditional thing, isn't it? That everybody says, these youngsters coming in have no respect. That must have been the same 19 years ago when you started your career, that the leaders were saying these youngsters have no respect. Is that actually the case? Do you think it is getting worse?
I think it's getting better again. We definitely had years when it was definitely rough in the peloton, when there was absolutely no respect for each one. And even from the guys from, let's say, from the top down and also from the bottom up, it's like everybody was just out there and fighting each other. And this got much better. There's a lot more respect. The peloton also got safe and in a way because we have less riders in the peloton.
But I was also thinking about the fact that everybody is more aero now. So they've got the helmet, they've got the skin suit, they've got the aero bikes and the aero wheels, etc. Everybody also seems more committed to training almost year round. Like there's no opportunity to let yourself go at all, or to even have a drink. We've seen quite a few teams with a no alcohol policy. So all those factors combined, I felt might be making the peloton faster than it's ever been. And as you said, there's more pressure. And it was only probably when Team Sky started that you saw a team for the entire day trying to stay together. Before that, you could kind of mingle about and just find each other towards the end. So there must have been changes that have been a factor in the speed of the races, etc.
Definitely. I mean, we have seen the speed is going up every year, and of course, new materials, and like you said, on the aerodynamics, and of course also the movement in the peloton. There's no preparation races anymore. From the first race of the season till the last one, the pressure is on, and you have to deliver. And this you can see, they are all 100% professionals now. And probably back in the day, we had some races, we had a good laugh and just, didn't really think about the racing itself and just were out there to have a good time. And this changed completely. And the guys are still having a good time, but it's all about racing and performance. And it's a good point when back HTC or something, or even other trains, when they got it perfectly, they were untouchable. Like I was involved in it. It's like because we had a lead-out train, and nobody could even come close to some point till all the other teams got more professional and diversified in sprinting or having a team around the leaders.
Well, I think back in the HTC days when you were in the lead-out train there, the other teams, once you got to the front, say, right, this is the lead out for Mark Cavendish and we'll do our best to get on the wheel. But as you said, now every rider that's a good sprinter wants a lead out train. So on the overhead shots, sometimes on the lead into the finish, you've got 4 or 5 trains next to each other. And on those overhead shots, there's barely an inch of road to spare. Like, it just seems so condensed and so fast that if it's a chain reaction. If one person comes down, you've got no chance.
Of course, and you see in the peloton it's a bit easier when you're on the bike. You see those moves happening and you can react a little bit before, and it's pretty much that moving your bike without touching your brakes, and that's what these guys do then, the proper sprinters. And so thanks God we don't see everything on TV, but definitely. And then at the same time, it's not only just the sprinter teams moving up there. Sterling was also a stage where it goes to GC because you could lose time if there's a gap. And that's why also the GC riders start moving up, and they have a full lead out just for their leader, not to lose time. And that's what we not only see anymore in the Tour, we also see in other races when it comes down. Don't lose time in GC in a stupid crash.
So in conclusion, would you say that professional cycling is any more dangerous out on the road now than it was 19 years ago when you started?
Yes, definitely it is way more dangerous, and because of the road furniture. But I wouldn't blame the riders or smaller teams or something, or the young riders. I wouldn't blame them. It's they were always part of the, but we're all in the same boat, and this. That's the mix, that's the momentum of the peloton. But I think with the road furniture and the pressure, it definitely was a big change in the sport, and what made it definitely more dangerous.
Yeah, it's a dangerous sport, always has been. Sounds like it always will be. But thanks for your time, Bernie. Much appreciated.
Thank you, mate.
I don't think I'd ever realised just quite how good looking Bernie is until he was sat there next to you.
To be honest, I hadn't realised how ugly I am until I sat next to Bernie.
Well, that's because you normally sat next to me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, anyway, seriously though, some very good points there. As you said, mate, it's always going to be a dangerous sport when you've got 200 riders inches away from each other, speeds in excess of 60 km an hour. But really interesting hearing from Bernie that he thinks it's the traffic calming measures that are actually the biggest culprit.
It was very interesting to hear from him, but crashes like we saw in San Juan on Sunday involving a spectator, or crashes like we've seen recently which involve barriers down the finishing straight with feet on, just shouldn't be happening anymore. And the powers that be within cycling should be stopping them from happening altogether.
Absolutely. Right, now speaking of accidents waiting to happen, should we check back in with Ollie, who is now just a few weeks away from his hour record attempt, and actually his latest vlog was from his 3D body scanning. The mind boggles.
Hi guys, so one of the unique things about the Sufferfest is it actually contains a mental training component as well, in addition to all the hard physical workouts. And this is important because the psychology of sport is massive when it comes to performing optimally. Now, using the best equipment possible might only be worth a few percent in many cases, in real terms, but psychologically, knowing that you're using the best equipment possible can be worth much more, 10, 15, 20% in your head. And with that in mind, I've come to visit No Pins. Now, No Pins are going to make me a custom, cutting-edge, tailor-made skin suit, and that involves getting my body 3D scanned. So let's do it. So here in this bag is my finished custom-made skin suit. Now I'm gonna go to the wind tunnel and see how quick it is. But if you wanna see what it looks like, well, you're gonna have to stay tuned because there's gonna be a full video coming out about that. So see you next time.
It is now time for your weekly GCN Inspiration, where you upload your inspirational cycling photos or videos to the GCN app, and we pick out our favourite 3 each week for a very cool prize. So without further ado, in third place this week, we had this from Not Lobdivad. This is the start of a 12-kilometre cobbled climb out of Rumia through the forest of Debnik. I'd been meaning to try it for a while, so this weekend we made the most of the mild Polish winter and gave it a go. 12-kilometre cobbled climb, Si.
That sounds bonkers. That must be a typo, surely. 1.2 kilometres? I don't know.
Let us know. If you live nearby, or you've heard of it before, or even ridden it, make sure you let us know what it's all about.
Absolutely. Anyway, either way, fantastic photo, super cool location. You win a GCN casquette. There we go. Matches our jumpers, doesn't it? Right, okay, in second place and winning a GCN racing jersey. Very cool one if I do say so myself. Is this one sent in by Roysy Boysy. Daily spin over the Aberdeen bypass during an epic sunset. Now this is cool, then, isn't it? Because this is one of those ones where it's like, you know, it's a bridge over a bypass. Like, it's not a particularly attractive location, but doesn't it just make you want to get out on your bike?
I lived inside the M25, the ring road around London, for a few years, and there was nothing I found more, well, that left me feeling more smug than riding my bike over the M25 with people stuck in traffic each and every day.
I know what you mean, actually. It's that feeling of escape, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is inspiring.
Well done, Roysy Boysy.
Yeah.
That jersey will be on its way to you soon. But the winner this week of the big prize,
yes,
which is the fan jersey here, as well as the base layer / nightclubbing attire,
/ gym kit. I like that.
Smiler CX. Never fails to inspire with views of Worm's Head and Russelley Bay on the Gower Swansea. That is in South Wales.
Wow, that's close to home, that one, isn't it?
It's not far away.
Not far at all.
Should maybe head over there, Si, and get some inspirational photos of yourself.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? I'm going to go there this weekend.
Yeah. Well done to all three of you. Don't forget to get involved ready for next week's GCN show by uploading your best cycling photos and videos to the GCN app.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now. I'm going to start with news from the Tour Down Under, where Richie Porte has taken his second win at that race. He did miss out on his customary stage victory on top of Willunga Hill, but he was 5 seconds faster than his previous personal best up there, so he'll undoubtedly be delighted with that one.
That, according to Matti PREL on Twitter. A bit early to say whether that means he's on for his best season ever, Richard Paul, but always good to get off on the right foot, isn't it? Now, last week we already mentioned the fundraising efforts of Lachlan Morton of EF Education First, and he's still at it, along with teammate there, Mitch Docker, two riders who are known, really, for their lustrous, flowing locks and also humongous moustaches, have shaved a lot off for charity.
Yeah, they have, and they raised $8,800 for the Salvation Army Bushfire Relief Fund. Brilliant. I can't help wonder, though, if they'd have got even more money if they'd stopped halfway through. But anyway.
We shall move on now to gravel racing's coming of age / premature death. This at the hand of the sport's governing body.
Dun dun dun! Last week it was USA Cycling that are trying to help. This week there are reports that the UCI president is now interested in sanctioning an official World Gravel Championships.
Much to the horror of gravel racing stalwart Ted King, who simply tweeted, "Just please don't."
Yeah, or gravel noob Peter Stettiner, who tweeted, "They can make a race on gravel roads, but it won't be gravel racing." Which seems ironic coming from a ex-professional road cyclist who is starting his first full season of racing gravel, but we'll let that one slide.
Also begs the question, how do you organise a gravel race, really, doesn't it? Interestingly, the Velo News article on this very subject pointed out that this could be very good for the gravel racing scene over here in Europe, and that is because it's very hard to get insurance for mass participation events over here without input from a governing body.
Well, that is interesting, actually. I did not know that. Right, now moving on from a cycling subject that ultimately doesn't matter a jot to one that really does. Basketball legend LeBron James and his Uninterrupted Empowerment Group have teamed up with Lyft to offer free bike share for young people through the YMCA.
He said, "Growing up, a bike changed everything for me. It was more than a way to see my friends or play basketball, it was a way of life. A bike opened doors, allowed me to get to safe places after school, and gave me access to opportunities I never would have known."
That is really cool, isn't it? Really cool. Right, now staying with the US, of course there's a lot at stake with the election coming up in November of this year, including, though, Dan, a $1 billion pothole relief fund. Dun dun dun!
Yeah, I reckon that although this is a lot of money, it probably wouldn't even fill half the potholes we've got on our small island of the UK, would it?
No, that's why gravel's so good, isn't it? Because then they're not potholes anymore. It's just part of the sport.
I find them mega annoying even on gravel rides.
Spoken like a true roadie there. You'll never understand gravel racing, Dan. Anyway, this is actually coming from an article we read on Street's blog. Potential presidential nominee and current New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg set out an infrastructure plan that promises to maintain roads that already exist rather than building new ones. But within that, he's also promised to triple funding for bicycle and pedestrian routes, which is cool, isn't it?
Very good news indeed.
Yeah, although, Dan, I'm not very good at maths, but I'm pretty sure that 3 times not very much could still be not very much. So, you know.
A little bit more.
Well, yeah, we've kind of got to wait and see, haven't we? Really?
More news from over in the US and specifically Washington, DC. This from an article that we read on bicycling.com. Which shows that residents and cyclists there can now report bad driving using a brand new app called Our Street. The idea being that if you see something like a close pass or maybe somebody parked in a bike lane, you report it using that app.
Yeah, and although early days, it has been successful enough to allow law enforcement officials to actually prosecute repeat offenders. Plus, think of all the data that it's creating that will actually map out accident black spots and parts of a city that cyclists have trouble with. So hopefully allowing planners to actually improve the infrastructure there.
And the app team have got plans to extend it out to other areas soon, apparently. Cool. Meanwhile, over here in the UK, the Independent newspaper reported last week that the worldwide cycling movement, Critical Mass, have been added to the counter-terrorism watch list.
Yes, although, according to police, Dan, this is just to add context to the list. So there we go. Right, now we're going to finish cycling shorts with a very cool story featuring Peter Sagan, already an inspiration to many people. But it's his actions behind the scenes that I think really mark him out as truly one of the greats. And this story kind of sums it up. So Dr. Jonathan Lung tweeted a picture of his son, young son, out riding, which is very cool in itself, and he tagged Peter Sagan into it.
Yes, Sagan then sent him a direct message on Twitter asking if that was his son, and when he replied saying yes, he then sent him out a signed autobiography and jersey. How cool is that?
That is super cool, isn't it? Fair play, Peter Sagan.
Have you read his autobiography?
I haven't actually, not yet.
I wonder if it's available on audiobook.
Narrated by who?
Peter. We have got a brand new giveaway for you with some very cool prizes, which Si will be going through very shortly. Firstly, let me tell you the premise. As you all know, Ollie is shortly going to be attempting to break Eddie Merckx's hour record using every aero aid and other tech aid that he possibly can. So, in order to be in a chance of winning, what you need to do is guess exactly how far Ollie is going to ride in 1 hour, and you need to do that in kilometers to 3 decimal places. Closest person's going to win.
That is a tough one, isn't it?
It is.
I haven't got a clue. Is he going to break Eddie Merckx's hour record? That's the goal, so that's what you should be perhaps basing yourselves on. Whether it's above or below that, we'll just leave that up to you. Anyway, the prize is, this is amazing. So Ollie's been doing it all with the help of the Sufferfest. So they are offering a year's free subscription to the Sufferfest, plus a customized training plan, plus, it doesn't stop there, a Wahoo Kicker Core trainer to do it all on, and a Wahoo Ticker heart rate monitor, so you can totally monitor your training, plus a Wahoo mat as well, for people like myself.
Sounds like it's something that you should probably enter, given all you've got to do is type in 5 numbers. All the details on how to do that are on a link, which you can find in the description just below this video.
That's right. We also, Dan, have some results for you as well from a giveaway from a couple of weeks ago with Gravel Epic. So this is their new Moroccan race, which sounds amazing. We will be out there, we being GCN, and it was for a winner plus a guest, wasn't it? So you could take friend, loved one, someone that asks really nicely via social media, along with you for an amazing trip out to Morocco.
I think we should have a drum roll. Yeah, we'll do our own in case they haven't got an audio clip to put in. The winner is Thierry Mondour from France, obviously.
Congratulations, Thierry. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant prize. It is now time for Hack/Bodge of the Week. You've been over on the GCN app voting on hacks and bodges that we put up over last week's GCN show, so we should go through them now, but we're not going to reveal it to ourselves until we have determined whether they're a hack or a bodge.
I'm quite nervous about this.
I am a little bit as well. We're going to see if you're in agreement with us or vice versa. The first one this week came in from Postrom. Chimes for the little one. Let's have a little listen.
Well, those are nice chimes, aren't they? I like that. I mean, not aesthetically pleasing for a child, I wouldn't have thought, unless they're really into bikes at a very young age.
Bit like a present for the dad, really, wasn't it?
It is, yeah. Or the mum, of course, Dan. But yeah, I think that's a bodge, personally. That doesn't really feel like it's, you know, kind of nursery sort of furniture.
Well, before we reveal the public's opinion, shall I say hack, so at least one of us is in agreement with the viewers?
I like it. Always thinking,
right, hack. I like the sounds.
Bodge.
Okay.
I think it's not very child-friendly.
Right, well the results are that 64% said it was a hack.
What?
I'm with you guys. Although Pro Leary said, man, I hope those are tied well. That's a good point, isn't it?
That
Although
is a very good point.
We can presume that they are not hanging directly over the baby's cot.
Well, I hope so, because that really that's like a sword of Damocles kind of moment, isn't it? Right, anyway, me and Pro Leary in agreement there. Right, next up, this one from Cody Chenard. Spotted a Bicrowave in Mar Vista. I see what they've done there. Bicrowave, nice. Anyway, in Mar Vista, California. This looks like, well,
like the original bar end.
Yeah, or is that some kind of like road clearing mechanism? You could get people to move out of the way pretty sharpish on the bike path.
Look how many positions you've now got available to you. You could get properly aero using those.
Although, what is going on with that saddle? That does not look comfortable.
Oh my God.
That looks like an accident waiting to happen, if you ask me.
I'm stuck on the saddle. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying hack for the bars.
I think hack for the bars. I mean, I can't see a downside. They just look amazing. And also, I think antlers are quite lightweight, aren't they, really?
Yeah. Right, are you ready?
Yep.
77% said it was a bodge.
Oh.
Well, you're all wrong.
Yeah, what's going on there? Right then, next up.
Moving on, we had this from Trotsky Gaucho 123. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's basically like a bike combined with some sort of Vespa moped.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really see the advantages of that.
Love the cool retro telephones underneath. Anyway, back to the bike. I'm saying bodge.
Yeah, no, I'm saying bodge.
I don't
like
see
what?
any reason for it.
No,
just
not
get a
at all.
Vespa or get a town bike. Okay, 62% of you said bodge as well, so we are in agreement on that one.
Yeah, there we go. Right then, next up, we got this one from DSTA. I think, are we going to say it's an acronym? DISTA? Anyway, he's wrapped elastic bandage around the top of his handlebars to avoid sweaty bar syndrome when doing indoor training. Now, he said it works well and is cheap to replace. I think, Dan, that's absolutely rank. like what's, you know, if you got some shiny bar tape, it's never gonna like soak up sweat. It just kind of drips off and then you can wipe it clean. Whereas that, oh my goodness me, manky bandage syndrome.
Well, he does say it's easy to replace, but imagine if he doesn't do it for a few weeks.
Oh, that's right.
The smell as you walk into the bike room,
Yeah.
ready to do your training. Well, I'm definitely saying that's a bodge.
Absolutely, that's a disgraceful bodge. Just take it off.
Right,
quick.
well, app users have said 64% say bodge.
Oh,
What's going on with the
goodness,
36% of you that said that was a hack?
I don't know. Oh my word.
Right.
Just have like bare metal. I mean, it's an indoor trainer. It's not like you got any road buzz.
No. Right, the fifth and final one for this week comes in from Harry Boyle. A vintage seat post clamp makes for a perfect guide to cut your carbon steerer tube. Results.
Hey, nice. That is
Very
cool.
neat, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a hack from me,
That's a
Dan.
hack from me as well, and from the general public. It is a hack. 72% of you that voted on that said it was a hack.
You know, I invented something similar to that actually at home. I didn't have a vintage clamp, but I did have 2 random old stems knocking around. I've got a gazillion stems. I don't know why. Anyway, so I've got 2 of them, sandwiched them together. Ta-da! Cutting guide.
Wow.
I was happy with that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's actually pretty good.
Thanks, yeah.
Right, next week's hacks/bodges are already up over on the GCN app for you to vote on. So make sure you head over there to cast your opinion and see whether or not you're in agreement with myself and Si next week.
Right then, it is time for Caption competition. That point in the show where you get a chance to win a coveted GCN Elite water bottle. All you got to do is write an incredibly witty caption to a photo we're about to give you.
Yes, that photo last week being this one of Richie Port, Rowan Dennis and Mads Pedersen at the Pre-Tour Down Under press conference. And our winner this week is Ryan Beechner. Richie Port is looking downright presidential. Very good, Ryan. Get in touch on Facebook with your address and we'll get that sent out to you.
It was a good job that Port ended up in the orange jersey at the end of the race, wasn't it? Because actually,
Made his face look normal.
it settled him right down, didn't it? Yeah.
Well, maybe we should have got you an orange t-shirt before Christmas then, shouldn't we? This week's photo is this one of Giacomo Nizzolo, pre-stage 5 at the Tour Down Under, struggling a little bit to get his heart rate strap on. Si is going to get you started.
Yeah. Guys, I tell you, I'm feeling really nippy today.
Was that Italian?
Guys, I tell you, I'm feeling really nippy
It's
today.
slightly better, Si, but the actual joke is terrible. You can
come on.
definitely do better than
Nippy?
that, both with your own accents, but also with the actual caption, which you need to leave in the comment section just down below. We'll pick our favourite this time next week.
You see, actually, that's
I don't know what the first accent was. Before we let you know what's coming up on GCN over the next week, we are going to go through a few of our favourite comments from the last week's videos. I say last week's videos, most of them centre around Ollie's, don't they? This is where he visited AG2R's team training camp and spent a day basically riding like a pro, well not riding like a pro rider.
Riding with the pros.
Doing the same things as a pro rider, kind of. Anyway, this came in from Tommy Shelby. Poor Ollie left to eat all on his own. Takes me back to my school days. We should get a violin out for Tommy, shouldn't we?
Well, that's right. Oxymoron then said, training ride, 160k, 4,000 metres of climbing. Sounds like a near-death experience to me. Hashtag pray for Ollie.
Well, that's a hashtag we could continue to use.
Well, I think there's a lot of mileage in that, isn't there? Given his hour record coming up, supposedly the worst thing you can do on a bicycle.
Can we get it around the velodrome, like the sponsor they normally have on the board? Just hashtag pray for Ollie for him to read every time he does a lap.
I think we should. That's genius.
Right, this came in from Dio. What a funny guy. I hope he finally wins a classic this season. I'm not sure he's ever even done a classic, has he?
Who, Bridgewood? Yeah. No, I don't think he's racing a classic this year
I don't know
either.
if he did, as well as getting out Eddie Merckx's hour record, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And finally, Mariah Barr. The host is so cute, I'm sure lots of women would give him a message.
Massage.
Oh yes, a massage.
Did that really come from under the video with Ollie in?
Apparently so. Ollie was in on the script earlier, so maybe he put that one, and maybe that's a pseudonym.
I was going to say, yeah, anyway. I was taken by surprise, that one. But, good. Really good.
Well, hashtag pray for Ollie.
Yeah, unfortunately, the video with me that went out the previous day, there were no comments remotely like that, because I had to get my top off. Although Jim Soto did say, is it just me or does Nigel seem like one of the nicest, most cordial people on the planet?
Yes. Out of the
is.
2 people in the video, Jim chose to write that about Nigel. There's a surprise.
He was very tactful, which was good. Nigel's a top chap. I like him very much.
Meanwhile, Trevor Holmes said, please, oh please, shave that tuft that's on your chest. Initially I thought it was the mic fluff, but no, he was right, it's just a bit of...
It's taken 36 years to get this. It's not going anywhere.
Imagine where it'll be when you're 72, mate.
Probably. Does it increase or decrease?
I don't know, well it gets greyer.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, let's tell everyone what's coming up on the channel over the next week, starting on Wednesday, where we are going to teach you how to ride in strong winds, which is a key skill for cyclists because they can be dangerous.
Absolutely, especially this time of year.
On Thursday, we've got an Ask the Pros with Mr. Cannings, haven't we?
That's right.
He asks pro cyclists down under what their favourite food is. And on Friday, we're going to look at some other methods at training for the bike, but not on the bike. Tim Johnson is with Jeremy Powers looking at cross-country skiing. And I can tell you from personal experience that it is a very good method of cross-training.
Is it?
Cross-country skiing. It's good for your arms.
You feel like your form's come on a notch since you cross-country skiing the other day. Did you actually ski enough to get any training benefit?
My arms were feeling the burn that evening.
Yeah.
I could barely lift my pants.
I was just thinking that. Anyway, right, coming up then on Saturday, Chris had a really cool trip over to see the people at MIPS, so the internal helmet protection stuff. So that video is coming up on Saturday. Then on Sunday, Ollie, well, as Dan said, he needs all the help he can get. Manon, fortunately, is a world-class track rider, and so she basically teaches him how to get the most out of himself on the boards. So yeah.
It looks easy when Manon does it.
It does.
It? And then Ollie shows us that it's not that easy. Monday, of course, it's the GCN Racing News Show over on the GCN Racing channel, which is a good chance to remind you that we do have live coverage of the Vuelta a San Juan every night that it's on, because there's a rest day on Thursday, but unfortunately everywhere in the world except for Latin America and Europe. But if you are in Europe, you can catch it live on Eurosport.
We're getting towards the end of the show now, but as ever, we still have time for Extreme Corner. And this week, it's video been sent in by Andreas IHM over on the app. And quite frankly, Dan, this leaves me absolutely terrified. Check it out.
Frankly terrifying.
Oh, isn't it just?
And also, why?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've featured some pretty extreme stuff on Extreme Corner over the years, but of all of them, that one, for some reason, I think it's probably the exposed steerer tube and no way of correcting it. I mean, just the thought of, you know, like landing on your
We can't
sternum.
ride just no-handed on a pair of rollers, can we?
No. I bet, thinking of Manon's Trackcraft, I bet she's nifty on a pair
I
of
bet
rollers.
she is, yeah. We should probably redo that how-to video, actually, shouldn't we?
And actually do it
Somebody
properly, you
that
mean?
can do it.
Yeah, cracking idea.
Right, that really is the end of this week's GCN show. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please click on the thumbs up icon, which you can find below the video.
Yep. And if you would like to watch another video right now, if you haven't seen it yet, you really must. So click through now. Ollie heads over to basically spend the day with Oliver Nason at the AG2R training camp.